We have counseling psychologist and motivational speaker Anthony Njenga in the building. Always lovely to have you. Karibu.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back.
Yes.
And you look amazing, Mikali.
Thank you.
Unakaa
Thank you.
vizuri.
Thank
Always.
you so much. Asante sana, nashukuru.
Yes,
Nashukuru.
All right.
You came up with this topic and you shared this with us.
Yes.
And, you know, I think the first time when I heard about it and what, like, you were willing to come onto the show to talk about it,
Yes.
I was just like, wow. And coming from you, because
Yes.
most of the times we are so focused on women.
Women.
It's like women are, this has happened to them, this has happened to them. What about the men? Because we've seen cases like extreme
Yes.
violence
Yes.
mated
Yes.
on men.
Yes. Very
Why
true.
did you choose this conversation today?
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Mikali. And to those who are watching me right now, and if you don't know my name is Anthony Njenga, and I'm a counseling psychologist. And to answer that question, what I can say is this. Gender-based violence on men is something that has not been talked about sana.
That's
People
true.
have avoided that.
Yes.
And I would say also to the men, also they're also not stepping up or coming out to share their experiences or how they have been affected with gender-based violence. So I'd say this is a very, very sensitive topic because women, even in the counseling side, women are the gender that, or the women's side, they come for counseling more than the men. I don't know why that happens. I don't know if it's the society that
It's
men
the society.
men shouldn't talk about their issues.
Anthony, it is because they
Yeah.
grow up being told how you can handle it.
Yes.
You are Superman. You're the
Yes.
hero. You
Men
are the
shouldn't
conqueror.
cry.
Don't cry.
Which
But
is
then
normal,
we're here
yes.
to just say it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay because you're human.
Yes.
Your heart is pumping blood.
Yes.
It's not some superpower
yeah. It's not that
liquid
it's not
in
some
you.
superpower, because even men, we are also a gender, and the same issues. Some of the gender-based violence issues that are happening on the women's side, they're also happening in the men. For instance, sexual violence. Maybe there are people who don't know that men are undergoing sexual harassment.
Yeah.
There are people who don't understand how men are being beaten by their wives. And that's why this topic or this issue of gender-based violence on men is a very, very sensitive and crucial topic to talk about, because there are men who are out there and they don't know how to go about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So what would be the direction to take for this particular, affliction
Yes.
to men?
What I can say to the men who are watching this or who are watching me right now, and what I'd like to tell you is this. It's okay to undergo these things. It's okay to undergo physical violence. It's okay to undergo sexual violence. It's okay to undergo psychological or what we call emotional violence. It's okay to undergo this type of violence. It's also okay to undergo economic violence. You are a normal human being. You're not some alien.
No.
So it's okay. Don't feel ni kama tuko na uoga ati hauwezi open up and talk about these issues, because this gender-based violence, like physical violence and sexual violence and psychological violence, they make a lot of men commit suicide. By the way, Mukali, do you know that a high percentage of men are those who commit suicide than women?
Yes.
Wanaume ndo wanajiua sana
Yes.
compared to women.
Yes.
Because men wamefunzwa na society na culture, different cultural diversities. Kukaa ngumu ati wewe ni mwanaume ufai kulia, ufai kuexpress emotions zako ama issues zako. So ile aspect ya the masculinity in the man hawezi kubali ati mimi niende niambie counselor issue yangu, ama nikuje niambie best yangu nina undergo kitu kama sexual, setanichekelea na setaniona ni kama niko weak or something. But it doesn't mean that you're weak. If you're a man watching me right now, it doesn't mean that you're weak. Maybe if you're undergoing sexual violence or physical violence, or also psychological or emotional violence, which are going to talk about.
Yes, please let's just get into it. The kind of violence or gender-based violence that are meted out on the men.
On the men.
Yes, like specific ndio. Sometimes utapata mtu atasema hapana, si wao wanatufanyanga hivyo, acha mimi nifanye hivyo. And it's not this particular guy who's ever done this to you. It's just because you think all men are okay with that, but it's not all men who are okay with the things that
it's not all men are okay. So the major one, Mwikali, is which is not talk about is the physical violence, where the wife, or what you call intimate partner violence.
Yes. Where
the wife or the girlfriend physically abuses the boyfriend or the husband, which is not talk about. Unajua wanaume hata ukienda mahali wanaume wanaongea, mtu akikama up na issue ya mbona wanaume wanachapwa, inakaa ni kama unachekelewa, of which haifai kuwa hivyo, because it doesn't mean that you're weak, you know. We have different types of people. Watu wako different kivyao. People are different. Yeah. We don't expect that all men are those strong men, those giants men, ati wenye wananguruma wakisema hey kwa nyumba kila mtu anashtuka and everything. There are men who are just polite. There are men who are who love their own peace and space, and there are women who are strong, wale wanawake wenye, you understand. So people are different, and ukimit huyo mtu, let's say mwikali, maybe umemit a man, or a man has met a woman mwenye hawako the same in terms of how the character wise and everything. Yes. Unapata kama ni naume ananga maneno mingi, ni mtu ametulia tu, but the wife or the girlfriend ni ule dame ama ule wife mwenye anakuangana ule mwenye anaongeanga yeye ndio kusema, hata kwa familia yake yeye anajulikana yeye ndio kusema. So maybe mkipatana hakuwa anaonyesha those signs, but maybe if you get into now the relationship, or when you get now into marriage together, ndo unaanza kujua yenyewe this person. So what I can say is people are different.
That is true.
So if you're a man, usifeel ni kama ati wewe unakuanga umetulia, unapenda your own peace, your own space, unafeel ni kama wewe ni mnyonge. You're not. People are different. Kuna mwenye ako kama wewe na kuna mwenye ako strong enough, but it doesn't mean that you're not human. You're a normal human being, and that there are ways you can come out, or there are ways in which you can jiondoa in such issues.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is the intimate partner violence.
Yes.
You talked about the economic bit of it as well.
Yes.
How does that play out?
Economic violence is whereby now, let me give an example. Ni ile aspect yenye the woman is earning more than the man.
Okay.
You understand? Let's say, for example, let's take a number. Let's say the woman is earning 70,000 per month, okay, and the man is earning, let's say 25,000 per month.
Okay.
So there are things the man cannot do because the man doesn't have that much finances. So the woman is left to do vitu mingi sana kwa hiyo nyumba.
Yes.
You understand? So economic violence is whereby now the wife or the woman juu anajua bwana yake ana lesser amount of money, kuna venye ana try hata hamsaidii. Unajua a man who is earning 25,000 and you are lady who is earning 70,000, kuna mahali maybe the man who won't be able to, so you as the lady will chip in kidogo. Yeah. But now the woman is like, no, you're a man, you should work for yourself, ujitafutie hiyo pesa ingine. So you try hata kama ni seme ni chakula unapea watoto lakini bwana umpei. Ni wale this type of men wakienda nyumbani unapata bibi ashaosha sufuria, chakula imeisha, amefeed watoto, hana chakula. That's what we call economic violence. Yani kuna ile bwana, kuna venye ile pesa hawezi peana huko cause ile
so
kuna ile salary
like na kulipisha kwa sababu how provide. Yes. So sikupatii chakula kwa sababu ulileta nini.
Yes. Hata not only chakula, let's say if the woman ama the lady side yao wako na pesa, they are rich on their side, familia yao wako na pesa compared to the man side.
Yes.
Unapata now the lady won't even hata mgift bwana yake ati cause hata mwambia wewe si ni mwanaume, go work, this roles enda utafute. You understand? There is this economic side of it. Try kumsaidiane because you two decided to do this relationship and this marriage together. So you should not try to try kuundermine huyu msee economically kwa sababu earn as much as you earning. Yes.
And there's also the emotional bit of it as well.
Yes, emotional violence, which is also the psychological violence. Mikali, this is mi usema hivi, unajua gender based violence on the aspect of psychological and emotional violence is what leads to domestic violence. Maybe there's somebody who's not understanding that.
Yeah.
Psychological or emotional violence is whereby now in the marriage or in the relationship, you know, this type of ladies wenye kila saa ni maneno, you know, Mikali, wanawake in the normal, yani women are meant to talk.
We talk a lot.
We call women kasuku.
Jameni, be nice. We just like, that's why we talk. We talk to strangers.
Yes.
If you're not talking, we'll sing.
Yes. So psychological violence part of it is whereby now the woman starts to attack the husband or the boyfriend and starts to abuse. Anamwambia wewe hata sijui unakaa aje, au unakujanga nyumbani late, hata uprovide. Wewe hata wanaume wengine wakieko hapo, wewe hata si mwanaume.
Oh God.
You see that aspect of it. Kila siku mwanaume ana grasp hiyo kwa juu. There are men who men are not those people what we will react. You know, mi usema hivi, domestic violence, hakuna mtu anaweza amka tu asubuhi amwe kukuchapa mwikali. The same. Mwanamke hawezi amka asubuhi amwe kuchapa mwanaume. The same thing. Mwanaume hawezi amka asubuhi tu with no excuse or with no reason anze kukuchapa. So that psychological emotional harm to the man is what leads to domestic violence. Mwanaume amekuvumilia for long, kila siku unamwambia this and that, na si ati kila saa amekuwa amekosea. Ni ile tu uko na pressure zako, umetoka job, umekuja nyumbani, umeanza kumwambia wewe hata uletangi vitu, hata wewe si mwanaume, ukiweko hapo hata uwezi simama, wewe si mwanaume. You understand?
You've killed the man.
Yes.
You have killed the man.
Now that man from that point, kama hata fanya domestic violence, ana get into depression, anajiua.
Because he doesn't find worth ya kuishi.
Yes. So psychological or emotional violence is what leads to
dangerous.
Domestic violence. Very dangerous.
It is very dangerous.
People don't understand that.
Yeah.
People just think domestic violence comes from ati mtu ameamua tu kuchapa tu. There must be a root cause.
So we don't look at what happened behind the scenes. What led to this moment right here. And we're not saying that domestic violence should be it's like
it's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. We're not justifying anything there. But then again, there's also another form of violence that we rarely talk about that leads us to this moment right here.
Yes, domestic violence, which is the psychological or emotional violence. And people don't instead of you maybe thinking huyu bibi amechapwa ama huyu bwana amechapwa, kwa nini? You're just there, huyu alichapwa, mwanaume hafai kuchapa mwanamke. Yes, it's so wrong, very very wrong. I'm not supporting domestic violence, but there must be a reason in everything, Mwikali, in every issue in this world, every issue when you undergo as a man or a woman, there must be a root cause, and the root cause is what people don't want to check. Watu wanaangalia the fact that alichapwa, na because alichapwa uliangalia mbona alichapwa.
Do we have systems or associations, organizations that are there for men, that they can give them a special safe space to talk about their experiences, what they're going through? Because kama sizi enda kuambia maboys kwa sababu naogopa watani judge, then there must be a safe space somewhere yenye wana expect watu kama mimi niende pale niwaambie vitu kama hizo. So you know for sure that is not a space that you will be judged in. Is it there?
No. Mikali, honestly speaking, gender-based violence on men, no, it's not taken seriously compared to women. We only major on the women side of it, but there's a men aspect. Sexual violence.
Which you shouldn't ignore.
I was talking. I didn't mention about sexual violence. Mikali, you know men, ama the boys, wakizaliwa, let's say in the community of Maasai, wanakuanga akifika age fulani anakuwa warrior.
Yes.
So unakuanga ukifika age fulani unajulikananga wewe ndio utakuwa protector, wewe ndio utakuwa ndume, wewe ndio utakuwa moran, wewe ndio utalinda hiyo boma.
Yes.
But the violence part of it comes in the gender-based violence part of it comes about when the boys ama the men are killed in that process because of the roles that we have given men in the society, that a man should do this and that. Ni kama venye also in the women unapata mwanamke wanaambiwa mwanamke hawezi fanya kazi ya mjengo.
I'm happy to see women getting into that space.
Yes.
You know, we are going to take a very short commercial break. Please send in your questions, 111-444-111. We will be answering them. We're talking about male gender-based violence, and we're very specific today because it's a conversation that's not being hard. So we're here to have it. We're going to be back after this break. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. Now, the most hilarious thing has just happened. Well, Robert Odanga was here earlier. Now, sitting in studio and listening to this conversation, he decided he's not going anywhere. He just wants to join in and shed light on this. And Anthony said, Sawa.
Yes.
So Robert is back. Anthony's here. We're still talking about gender-based violence, and we're specifically talking about men.
Men.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe just a quick point on why this is important for you before we get into the conversation, Robert.
Because we do not have laws that are protecting men against gender-based violence.
No.
I'll give you an example. Today, if if a 17-year-old lady, young lady,
Yes.
and let's say a 15-year-old are found, having
Yes.
sex or something,
Yes.
what do you think would happen? Who would be jailed?
The man.
The man, right? What happens
But
to the lady, though?
The boy is young.
What happens? What happens to the lady, though?
Protected, saved, taken to a safe place.
Exactly. Like, oh, what happened? Let me. Okay, what happened? We also have cases of young boys being defiled by their house helps.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
At a young age.
At a young age.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
we
it
have
affects
men
them
who
in
are
future.
blackmailed
Yes.
to, for sex issues, and what happens?
There are no
then?
laws.
There isn't.
Yes. And there are even men who are even taken up, wanachukuliwa kupelekwa wapigane.
Eh?
Yeah.
Mtu anachukuliwa anaenda ambiwa enda umechukuliwa juu unaenda kupigana for only fighting because you're a man.
Yeah.
The role.
This is you've heard of sexual trafficking.
Yes.
That happens. That the men were carried and taken to some what do you call this? Some strip clubs for men, and they are there against their wishes, and they can't do anything about it. And none of the audience even feels sorry for them.
So my question is, I don't even know why you're sitting here telling us those things. Is there a solution? Are there people who are fighting for the boys, the male gender, when it comes to this? Who's creating these laws? Who's supposed to?
No.
Who is?
We must understand our society. We have grown to a point where we have overprotected the girl child and totally neglected the boy child.
Yes.
Totally neglected. We're like, when manami utajipanga.
Yes. Women and girls are listened to a lot than men.
It's only now that we are trying to change a few things in the Penal Code and the Sexual Offences Act to mean both genders.
Yes.
Okay.
Before it was like for instance, if you look at the definition of rape,
Can I look it up?
you can look it up
Okay.
in the Penal Code. Just like rape Penal Code.
Okay, rape penal code.
Yes. Look at the definition of rape. Yes. It's very feminine. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then tell me how then you would say when a man is raped. How are you going to put it?
Yeah.
When a
Okay,
female
we'll
is-
find
yes,
it.
okay,
What is
check it.
rape penal code?
Rape. Yes. Definition of rape in the Penal Code.
Okay, tutaitafuta. But we have questions.
You'll clearly see.
Yes.
They'll tell you.
Yes.
It is when a man. This is what they'll say.
Yeah.
When a man has caused his private part. They don't say private. They say when a man has caused his penis to enter a woman. You understand me? Sorry. Those are the wordings.
Yes.
That's the exact wordings
Yes.
of the Penal Code.
Okay.
Or the Sexual Offences Act. You look at the definition of rape.
Yes.
If you read it out loud and see what it entails,
Yes.
there is no point. Men are raped every day as well. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. You're like,
Tujibu hizi maswali.
probably.
Tujibu hizi maswali. Hi Mukali, I'm a survivor of male gender-based violence. Should I call it discrimination?
Yeah.
My wife doesn't give me food or even good clothes. She has given out all my shirts to her brothers. Enough times I have to borrow official clothes for interviews. Her family is richer than mine, and I don't know how to get out of that situation. I think you'd mentioned something close to this.
Yes.
Earlier.
Economic violence.
This is what it's called.
Yes. Economic. We are now in that issue. The wife akona pesa, kwao akona pesa, they are richer than the man. And the wife doesn't provide for the man for food and things like clothes. But all I can tell that person is don't wait for your wife to provide you food and clothes even if they are rich. Now that's where now for the men, that's what we call now gender-based violence on the women. Because the fact that now the man anajua bibi yake akona pesa na kwao akona pesa, yeye anangojea apatiwe food na apatiwe nguo. Because anajua kwa kina bibi akona pesa. There's money there. So hataki kuwork. Yeye amekaa tu hapo aletewe chakula.
Okay.
So why then wouldn't he feel bad because bibi yake akipeana nguo zake kwa brothers zake, because yeye as the man hata kama bibi yake ama hata kama the wife wako na pesa, hata kama provide food and clothes, what is the man doing?
Okay.
it's not supposed to be on one-sided thing cause ati kwa sababu bibi ako na pesa ama kwa ako na pesa. Tafuta msaidiane.
Okay.
And that's what we call cruelty. Legally utapata inaitwa cruelty. I'm not really looking at it as probably this man earns a little. Maybe he's actually just working, but what the amount of money he earns is not enough.
Yeah.
Or probably the wife. There are also men who earn a lot, but the wife still behave the same way. So that is what we call when you're that is a ground for divorce.
Cruelty.
It is a ground for divorce. It is cruelty, and it's very serious. So that is one of the parts where, in fact, another thing I'm going to tell you: when they were framing cruelty in terms of divorce, they only had women in mind. Women receiving cruelty
from a man.
You understand? But now when a man brings it up, it's weird. It's like even the judge will be like, what? Sorry. What were you saying?
And that is what we're trying to change. Because it doesn't change. Just because you're a man, it doesn't mean you're not human.
Yes.
You have emotions, you have your feelings, and you do not deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
Yes. But Mikali, what I can say on that, unajua, we have different cultures. And as much as we talk about men speaking up and stepping up to talk about their issues, Mikali, kuna cultures they believe, na mpaka sahi kutoka time za mababu zao, they don't believe in men opening up to their issues. They believe in men facing their issues like a lion and battling them up. Then kama hiyo issue mwanaume amefunzwa kutoka azaliwe anafaa patane na issues zake head on na pigane nazo as a battle, how then do you expect this man to open up? So it's not about men opening up, Mwikali. It's about the culture.
Basi tuliharibu kitambo.
But look at the rates of suicide.
Yeah. Yes.
I think men who commit suicide more.
Yes. More than women.
Look at it this way. Let's not even go far.
Yes.
Ask any man who is dating. Ask them, do you open up to your girlfriend? Can you open up to your girlfriend? They said the moment you open up, everything you've said will be used against you in the next argument. Hapo tu.
Aki atukwangi hivyo.
Sema tu kweli. They open up, kila kitu umesema unagongwa nayo back.
Yeah.
Be like, aya.
So it makes the man feel vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do you take that? Unapeleka, so you end up drinking. You end up drinking, you end up staying out like suicide and all of that.
You're going through things that you can't tell anyone.
You can't tell anyone.
You go to a bar, you drink. You talk to some bartenders, they tell you, we know problems of men out here. That, a man goes, drinks himself to a stupor, then talks with the bartender na ambia shida zake zote. Nimefanya hivi, this lady is not appreciating me. Okay. I don't feel loved. You understand? That is emotional abuse.
Maybe we can't go back to what our mababus did.
Yes.
But as us now,
we can
bringing up boys to become men, then we can change
we can change it.
Yes,
then we can change. That's the hope that there is.
Exactly.
So we have another question here. My wife is a cop. How can I help her separate being a wife and a cop? Because she is very tough. She's very tough to me and our children even at home. So this cuts across even to the children.
Yes.
My children are terrified of her. I feel helpless because I love her so much.
Okay. What I can say in that issue, Mikali, I believe in communication. I believe communication is the best thing.
Yes.
So hata kama for the man ataogopa ku open up to the woman amwambia this is what you're doing na maybe hawezi distinguish being a cop and being a wife.
Yes.
Just sit down with your wife. Hata kama you feel like utakuwa vulnerable. This thing can't continue because it is also affecting the kids.
Yes.
It's not about you too. Angalia familia, angalia dini ya mtoto sasa. Because it's not about, at the end of the day, it's not about you too. It's affecting even the kids. So if the man doesn't sit down with the wife, because we are all adults, we are all mature, kaini tu chini, mwambie, by the way, this and this is happening. And also, the wife akiwa job, siye ni cop.
Yes.
Kama mwanaume, akuwe nampigia. By the way, you're supposed to be home at this time to prepare maybe sapa kidogo. At least amkumbushe the duties. Because trust you me, yes, being a cop inaweza kuwa challenging, but once in a while pia mwanaume asiassume that huyu anajua ni wife. Si atajileta tu nyumbani afanye her wife duties. At least ampigie, hello, how you doing? The words of affirmation pia. Unajua pia there's the love language called the words of affirmation. Telling your wife how you love them. Unamwambia sweet words. Alafu unamwambia mnaanza story ya venye mlioana, mkapata watoto. Itam hit at some point.
Because their essence is female.
Yes.
Deep down.
Yes.
So it's just trying to tap into that.
Yes.
And just remind them
Yes.
that they are most beautiful in that essence.
Yes, I think we're also not looking at the work environment that the woman is facing.
Okay.
You see, as much as we were explaining earlier, being a cop is one of the most challenging jobs in this country.
Yeah.
It can also be very depressing sometimes. The things you have to deal with every day. Sometimes you have a very rogue boss. You know, like the kind of interaction she has per day. And even when you find someone arguing with a cop, some Kenyans also pretend they know and they don't know. And then you see all these things bottled up. Then someone comes back home. Sometimes you realize that bitterness and everything else is just someone who wants to speak out. So probably myself, I'll just recommend probably they need to see a counselor.
Okay.
The lady needs to see a counselor, marriage counselor or something, to just explain a few things, a few basics, so that will help us separate between being a cop, you know, and being a wife.
Just to get that help.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hi, Mikali. Thank you so much for this topic. That is violence against men. No, sorry. He says, is violence against men the same as that of women? Really? Women have a lot of organizations fighting for them, and for men, you should not even tell a friend that you have been battered. Should men not be the weaker sex?
Mikali, on that issue, men shouldn't be the weaker sex, and women also should not be the weaker sex. We all have our the weakest point, our weakest side, and our strongest side. We are normal human beings. Na hata kama men, that's all saying, we should not only major on the fact that men don't open up.
Yeah.
We should talk about now. Where are these institutions, or where are these places
to help there
men?
used to be one for men called, was it Mawe?
Maendeleo ya wanaume.
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Is
But
it
you
Mawe?
realize it's not even working because the person who opened it I think the one there's a story of him was also battered until he closed it. So, but the thing is, anyway, joke aside, if you're in a situation where you've seen a man being thoroughly slapped by a woman, would you advise the man to react back? Or the issues will be, do not fight with a woman, man. Just walk away, let it be, run away. Why is that so? You don't have to think about it. If a lady walks up today and you just start slapping you and beating you up, you know, and everything else, kicking you, what are you supposed to do?
I think the conversation shouldn't be that, Robert.
What
I
should
think the
the conversation
conversation should be, let's not do it.
But it will
No, but it will happen,
It's
yes.
practical. It happens every day. We see these
In
things
real life,
every day in real
Yes.
life. We must come back to what is happening. And right now, I can assure
say
you,
walk away.
you still say walk away, right?
Because,
People are different.
But
Mikali.
if it was the other way
that
around,
is what I would say.
that's
How
what
they
you will say.
react is different.
But if another way around, then if it was the other way around where your man slapped you, be told, mbona kuchukua kapana hapo kando
Mgonge nayo.
Realize the
I'd
double
still say
standard.
the same thing.
No, Mikali, why is it that when a woman is slapped or beaten, inakuanga mwanamke anaambiwa wewe ungechukua hata kama ni kitu mgonge nayo.
Mgonge nayo.
Lakini kama ni wewe umeslap mwanaume,
Let me
Mwanaume
tell you-
anaambiwa walk
React,
away.
Exactly.
walk away. Probably because atakumaliza.
Because let me tell you something. If a man goes to take a P3, and I'm telling you this legally, whereby a man was going to take a P3, like, I was beaten by the wife, nini. So the first thing you asked, so you guys were fighting. So it is a domestic issue. You guys fighting? Hapa ni police station, tafadhali. You don't solve the domestic problems. You not after wakili, do civil. 100% cops will tell you that. Now, if the other side is the woman who has shown up there crying, saying, "Oh, he's beaten me up. Look at this. I've hurt my eye. I have a bad eye. Nini. Take him." You take the cops a very few minutes to come for the man.
for the man.
That happens 100% of the time. I mean, just try it as an experiment today. Just tell a man to show up at a police station reporting, "I want a P3 that has happened." No one will listen to you.
How did we get here, though? the
I tell you how we got here.
how? Okay.
I tell you how we got here.
Mikali, yeah.
It's
This
very
is getting
simple.
very,
It's very simple, and
Yes.
it's a very emotive, very emotive topic.
very.
We got to a point whereby we have our African culture. Then you brought in the Western culture that was mixed with it.
Yes.
Then the women started saying, okay, men are having everything. But now that men have been having everything, we want to have everything plus the little that the men have, we need to take it. They forgot to just decide to put these people at par. An issue of these two people are at par, but you're taking things from the man and giving everything to the woman. You're actually saying, the man, you're left with no rights because you've been enjoying these rights for so long.
So that's
we are taking it away from
That's where I was going.
Yes.
That at the beginning, or at Uko Manyuma, the woman was oppressed. And that is how it came out as the need to protect her.
Yes.
And then we flew with it.
Too much.
Tukaenda. And then it didn't mean that even when the men were in control in certain sectors, that they still did not have weaknesses or things they were dealing with.
Yes.
So as much as they were dealing with things then, they were not taken care of. And now we're taking the women, we're empowering the women, and we're giving them everything that they need. So all the things that the men had or were struggling with now have doubled or tripled.
Yes.
Because on top of all of that, they can't talk about it.
Yeah, and
I mean, look at it even the law. I mean, you have in parliament, you've been told, do appoint women representatives.
Yes.
What are they assisting you with right now? Because we were just an issue of saying we need to make the woman feel good. So we're actually doing this. We don't have a point of doing it.
Yes.
We really don't have a point of doing it. Because look at the roles. Show me any woman rep that you feel like this woman is representing women's rights. There isn't. You're less like, let's just do it to please the women.
Mwikali, what I can say also, hebu angalia hata sahi Mwikali.
Okay. Nafeel hapa leo nimeangalia vitu mingi.
Angalia tu nowadays we empower women and girls to study. Na mwanaume wanawake na girls wanasoma, asome kabisa. Mwanaume aende afanye kazi. Asipate certificate, asiachieve career yake. Aende alime. Mwanamke aende afanye reception, media. Mwanaume kwa pale kazi ngumu. Yeye ni mwanaume, the roles.
Me, I'm not even going far, Mikali. If you have female friends, just ask them. Have you ever told a female friend that, no, I think you're wrong with this man? Just tell us. Have you ever told any female friend of yours that when they're having a relationship squabble, something is happening? Have you ever told a female friend that I think you are wrong? Think about it. We can give you time.
Think about, digest it.
You've always been discussing how he is bad. He's done this. No. God, leave him. What are you still doing with that guy? Did he do this? Have you ever really told your female friend?
I have really thought about it.
Exactly.
And to be honest,
yes. No. Yeah, see?
They're my girls, ride or die. Okay, I understand what you mean. I get the point.
Yeah.
I think we have time for one quick question.
Yeah.
And then
all right.
Oh, no time? One quick one.
Okay.
One quick one. Okay. They're saying yes, no? Okay. What are you saying, Jamal? See, I'm wasting time. What should the media fraternity do to better the coverage of the sexual harassment of men? That's my final question today.
Let me talk about that. What I can say, the media wanaweza enda kwa ground. You know, Mwikali, there are these communities, Pokot.
Yes.
Unajua Pokot, boys wanapewa bunduki ndio walinde boma.
Yes.
So the media should go to such places and understand their point of view. Why should a boy be given a role nani mdogo? So it's a matter of
robbing them off of their childhood.
Yes, the media should go kwa ground wasikie vinye vitu ziko. Wasingojea watu wakuje waseme. Yes, that's what I can say.
30 seconds.
Thing is, what we're doing right now is good.
Okay.
Bring up programs that enlighten people. Bring up talks, like run TV shows that, supports men opening up and
we
women
have
also
all men.
listening.
Robert Burani.
Exactly.
All men,
Yes.
Exactly. So it's a thing that the media needs to do more.
Okay.
And another thing is we need to make legislative amendments that are also able to support.
We will hold you accountable to that. Next time you come here, you tell us what you're doing to protect the men.
Beautiful.
And even you as a person.
Yes.
And your farm, what it is that you're doing. But our time is really, really up.
No problem.
Social media handles, Anthony, quickly, like 10 seconds.
All right, Instagram at official Anthony Njenga, Facebook Anthony Njenga, YouTube Anthony Njenga.
Great.
Yes.
Odanga Advocates.
Okay.
On Facebook.
Great.
All the others I know you know.
Yes.
Perfect.
Asanteni sana.
Karibu.
This has been quite the conversation, and I'm glad that you were part of it and sent in your questions. We're going to take a very quick commercial break. When we come back, we have DiCaplo with the Fitness Circle.